Hello and welcome to yet another YouTube video here on this channel. Today is going to be a fun one and a highly personal one. I am going to talk about the note-taking apps and productivity apps that have actually made me more productive. And we are just going to jump right into it. I will provide an explanation on why I think the way I do, and I will place them from 8th to 1st. And the first one is actually Tana. And I believe that Tana is a great app, and a lot of people actually become more productive. And it has a lot of great features. The only reason why I put it in 8th place is simply because I struggle to understand how the app works. And that is really personal. I just don't like the feel of the app, and sometimes we have those feelings towards an app, and that is totally okay. You don't have to use an app just because it is really hyped up. So the first one is Tana. Even though it is a great app, it didn't work for me personally. On 7th place, we have an app called Walling, and even though Walling also is a great app, it didn't make me more productive. It worked well when I had design tasks where I had to design things and I had to see things visually to come up with new ideas. But for note-taking and second brain and daily to-dos, the organization became really hard to work with. The way the app is organized with sort of whiteboards and whiteboards inside of different whiteboards, or Kanban boards inside of whiteboards, and everything evolves just around different whiteboards. So it became really hard to actually remember all the things I had to do, and just the way the app works became really difficult. I lost things inside of all of my whiteboards and I wasn't able to find them. And just the hassle of getting things into the app became a really big struggle for me. So I decided to go away from Walling, even though it is a great app and it works great for visual and creative work. It didn't work as a second brain. The next one is Notion, and I love Notion. It is the first app I ever started using when I got into productivity, but the app is just slow. It takes too long to load the app, which makes me crazy. And also the fact that it is really hard to quick capture stuff. You have to actually learn a lot to be able to use the app. And just again, the hassle of getting things into the app and the time I spent organizing. I honestly spend more time organizing inside of Notion than I actually do working. And again, when my workspace became too large, I started losing things. I know that with Ask AI inside of Notion, this problem will be solved, but in my case, it just takes too much to keep an organized workspace, and I tend personally to organize a lot more than I actually work, and I keep having that problem inside of apps like Notion. But the main thing was that it took too long to load sometimes, and it made me crazy personally because I am just not patient enough. So I decided to go away from Notion, even though it is a great app, and I know that a lot of people like using the app. In my case, it just became too much. Actually, the first app I used wasn't Notion. I used Evernote way before when I was in school. I used this a lot, and I believe that Evernote is still one of the best apps out there, and they've implemented a lot of new AI stuff to upgrade the app. But I like the fact that it was easy to get things in. It was easy to use. There wasn't too much to learn. And just overall a simple to use app, and I would always be able to find the things I was looking for. I left Evernote simply because I stopped caring about productivity after I was finished in school, and I never went back because the app didn't have a lot of the features that the newer apps had, which I used a lot. And I don't have any specific reasons why I never came back to the app, but it made me at least a little bit more productive, and it helped a lot when I was back in school. Main reasons for why I like this is just simple to use, no big learning curve. I don't like big learning curves, and sometimes the app is worth it, but most times it isn't. I ended up leaving Evernote. I could probably come back to this, but as of right now, there are other apps I like a lot more and I have been using for a long period of time, and I won't change my apps for a while now. So heptabase is one of the apps I still use to this day. I haven't used it for a very long time, but I still do use it. It isn't like the other productivity apps. It reminds me most of all of walling, which I showed you previously in this video. It is a way for me to easily be able to think about different ideas and build out my whole entire YouTube video or any idea I have, to just drag cards in and start making a mind map. That is personally why I love this app. So it is about contextualizing my different ideas, and that's what I mainly use it for, and that's what it mainly should be used for. It isn't the best at managing your to-dos. It can do that, but it simply isn't the best. I use this to gather all of the information around my different ideas, and I start to write my script based on what I have inside of heptabase. And the way I do that is that I actually take ideas or notes I have taken from in another app into heptabase and start making out my or planning my videos and making my whiteboards. So heptabase is one of my favorites, and the next one is one of my favorites as well, and that is Anytype. And I know that I said I don't like having a big learning curve. In Anytype, it is a little bit different because it just suits my brain. I love the way relations work. It just makes me, it just opens up my mind and makes it so easy for me to work inside of Anytype. And what I use Anytype for is mainly these videos and just planning out and managing the project, which is my social media channels, both for my personal social media, which is everything from a TikTok profile to IG, this YouTube channel, and my clothing brand's social media. I use Anytype to plan out all of to manage all of that. I use Anytype to manage all of that, and it has made my life so much simpler. So as you can see, I have a lot of notes inside of here as well. And some of them I move into heptabase whenever I need to actually work on them and to plan out my entire video. Then I actually write the script inside of Anytype. So everything inside of here is somehow related to my social media. In one way or another, it is related to my social media. And that's what I mainly use Anytype for. And I just love the way it is set up with the relations and the objects. It makes so much sense to me, and that's why I have decided to go for Anytype, even though it has a huge learning curve. So as I said, I'm not a big fan of huge learning curves, but it is worth it if the app makes my life simpler. So this has actually made me a lot more productive when it comes to my YouTube channel. And instead of just jumping in and filming a video, I do a lot of planning ahead, and I post around 5 YouTube videos every single week. So this makes my life a lot easier. The only problem I have is just like with Notion, is the fact that it takes a bit too long to actually put things inside of here. Quick capturing requires too much friction to actually use Anytype for quick capturing. So that's why I have another app, and that app is actually the one that has made me the most productive. So the app that has actually made me the most productive is Toos, and I have been using this app for a little while. I think I started in August or so, August or September, and it has simplified my life so much. And the main reason behind that is that it is simple to use. I want to take notes, I want to write things down, and there isn't too much friction. I use tags to organize. I used to use lists, but I've changed it up a bit, and I have started using a new profile because I am using the other one to make YouTube videos. But it is my single source of truth, so everything goes into Toos before it is moved to somewhere else, and I don't remove it from Toos whenever I move it somewhere else. I just let it be inside of Toos as well. So this works as my single source of truth and my ultimate productivity app. I use this for personal to-dos. I use this for my reminders. I use this to actually take notes as well. So let's just take a look at my resources board. You can see that I have a few notes inside of here, and this is what I use on a daily basis before I move things into different spaces or different apps. Uh, the only thing I actually don't move out of here is my to-dos, because I use this to manage all of my to-dos, and this is for my personal stuff. So at work we use the 365 suite, and I am not allowed to use any other apps. That's why this is only personal. So I use Microsoft Loop at work, but for my personal stuff, I love Tools. There are a few things I would want inside of this as well, like backlinking and mirroring things, um, or cloning things. But overall, this is the best app, and I love the way they implement new features like the review or the week, which is new inside of this app. I love the fact that they aren't trying to shove new features down my throat, because a lot of apps do that. They force you to use all of their features. Tools doesn't do that. It is simple at its core. It is just about going into the app and writing something down. And I think they have done such a good job at implementing new features without destroying the philosophy behind the app, which is great. So this is the app that has actually made me the most productive. It is not necessarily the app with the most features, the app that looks the best, but it is the app that has made me be able to be more productive and do more every single day and every single week. So that's why I recommend Tools to all of my friends and everyone I meet, because people aren't as nerdy as I am. And for most people, for mainstream people, this is the best app, but it works for productivity nerds like me as well. So the three apps I use right now is heptabase for idea generation and building up my ideas. I use Anytype to manage my work, which is social media both for myself and my clothing brand. And I use Tooz for everything. Tooz is my single source of truth. So that's the apps that have made me the most productive. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them down below and I will try to get to them as soon as I can. And thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video and I hope to see you again quite soon.